There we go. There's our sound. Okay. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. My name is England Jones, and I'm back again. Yesterday, it was the Dereck Chisora. No, sorry. It was the Dave Allen versus Luis Ortiz hypothetical matchup in terms of the upset debate. How could Dave Allen cause the upset? I was the trainer of Dave Allen, and I had my co-pilot at the time, Bo Bland from Truth and Facts Boxing, joining me to talk about Luis Ortiz. Said he was Luis Ortiz straight out. Tonight, I'm here by myself. I'm going to be talking about Dillian Whyte versus Dereck Chisora, the breakdown in his fight. This fight can mean a whole lot. This breakdown can mean a whole lot of everything, and it can mean a whole lot of nothing. Before I start, let me check and make sure that my sound is well and that I'm not breaking up. Because people said to me last time I did my breakdown show, they were complaining because the sound wasn't clever. So let me ensure that my sound is out. We've got people in the room. Carl McDowell, perfect timing. Evening, Ingram. Hi, Ray Lorick. Mind little sounds in the background. Paul Moore, Carl McDowell, and Pekka Decker. Good to see you all in the room, guys. Okay, so we're talking Dereck Chisora. Guys, before I continue, just give me a sound check and let me know that I'm sounding okay and we're not buffering. So you just check for that for me very quickly. Somebody could just let me know. Hey, audio is very dodgy. Sound isn't great. Right, okay, good. Thanks for letting me know. We'll check this out now and adjust accordingly. Okay. Okay, how's this sound, people? Does this sound better? Good evening, Adrian, Barry Verniston, Dave Pickard. Good evening. Does it sound any better? All just muffled. It's still showing waiting for Baylor TV. Really? Slightly better. Still not good, mate. Right. Hold on a second. All just vibrating. Sound is bad. Okay. Let me check this out. Let's get this working for you guys. How's this? Is this any better? Gonna get this sound right. I don't like sound this way. Give me a second, Sean. I'm just trying to crack the voice. Let's check the sound, guys. Does it sound any good? Got a good picture now. Just refresh. Okay, good. How's the sound, people? Any better? If the sound still it's not working, we'll try something else. Give me a second. I think it's a connection hairline. Hello. Is that any better?
Is that any clearing? Is that clearer, people? Does that sound any clearer? Any clearer, people? Much clearer? Much better. Yes, better now. Perfect. Well, the microphone. I was trying not to use it, but hey, we'll use this for now. Okay. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Wherever you are in the world, my name is Ingram Jones, as you know, and we're going to be talking Dillian Whyte versus Dereck Chisora. I was going to try and use this microphone to 2017, but I have to use the microphone now. Thank you all for joining, and thank you so much for sticking around. I appreciate it. Okay, so Dereck Chisora, Dillian Whyte, Ingram, my friend, how are you? I'm good. EJ Boxing Live, good seeing the room. Sean Edwards, Adrian, great. Crystal clear. I know it's crystal clear. It's a good microphone, so it's the first time I'm using it. As clear as the Ortiz Allen result. Good evening, Mick Carter, as well. Packed room tonight we've got. Good. Must be an interesting topic. So we'll kick on. So this prediction, or this preview show, can mean a whole load of something and a whole load of nothing, because both guys are unpredictable. Okay, so it could be a fight that can end up in a disqualification, because both guys are crazy and crazy enough to do something to get disqualified. Dereck Chisora's already been disqualified before, biting somebody who's Paul Butlin, and Dillian Whyte, you know, you just don't know what could happen in this fight. But let's take things back a bit. I want to look at Dereck Chisora's career. And if you look at Dereck Chisora's career, let me get my camera up because I can't even see my own bloody self. If you look at Dereck Chisora's career and what he's done under Don Charles, so he's gone back with Don Charles now. Dereck Chisora's style is one, for me, that is still incomplete. And I'll explain what I mean by it being incomplete. Dereck Chisora's style was always, he was based on the Joe Frazier style. You know, he was meant to be able to fight against tall guys, be able to get on the inside, you know, duck, weave, throw the left hook, get inside. If you look at Dereck Chisora's fights, his fight against, you know, Vitaly Klitschko, when he gets on the inside, doesn't quite know what to do. And then he's ineffective when he's at distance. He gets his head jabbed off when he's at distance. That's an interview that I'll be dropping later on for you guys. When he's at distance, he gets popped off with a jab. And when he's in close, he don't do much work to the body. So his style hasn't been perfected. It's an incomplete style. So are you an inside fighter? Or are you an outside fighter? Or are you a mid-range fighter? What are you? And then the other thing, the question, Dereck Chisora's been in so many fights. He had the bizarre performance against Tyson Fury where he just never showed up. Although Tyson boxed the life out of him. Just didn't show up. Then he kind of changed trainers. And he had an interview where they asked him what his plans are for the future in boxing. Oh, well, I'm around for the payday now. Then he didn't take the Anthony Joshua fight and went and decided to fight Kubrat Pulev instead. You saw what Kubrat Pulev did to him. And then we've got now him going to fight Dillian Whyte instead of fighting Anthony Joshua. See, Dereck Chisora's style, if you look at the reason, one of the reasons why he got knocked out by David Haye is because his style is based around fighting guys that are taller. So what basically happened when you fight Dereck Chisora, it's not so much his chin is fantastic. It's because he's coming in low, so you're catching the top of his head. You're not catching his chin clean here. So when he fought someone like David Haye, who's a similar height to him, it's easy for him to get nailed in the chin. Okay? And that's why you see fights where you fought against Parla and Gerber. You know, those guys were able to rock Dereck Chisora because they were at a similar height as Dereck. Okay? So those are some things to consider. And as well, the corner. How much control has Don Charles got in the corner of Dereck Chisora? I've seen in fights where Don Charles is talking to Dereck and Dereck's like staring in space doing his own thing. So Dereck, as far as I'm concerned, is a law unto his own self. Now, if you look at the flip side of Dillian Whyte, the fight against Anthony Joshua, where I told everybody he wasn't ready, he wasn't fit, He wasn't ready to go, but he took the fight anyway, and we saw what happened. He was not in shape, injured shoulder. We all saw what happened. Since he's come back under, I think it's Sims he's under now. Tibbs or Sims? I can't even remember which one. I think it's Sims, isn't it? Mark is Mark Tibbs? I can't remember which one. Tibbs, Sims, I don't know. One of them guys. Anyway, he's one of those trainers. Somebody will correct me in the room and the chat. He's with one of those guys now, and he's training with him. And Dillian Whyte seems to be refining his boxing skills, getting on to using a jab, trying to be more of a boxer. We saw against Dave Allen, who was trying things going southpaw and orthodox. Let's get something straight here. Dillian Whyte fights well against guys that come at him. He fights better against guys that come at him. He's not so cute when it's guys that are moving around the ring on him. So when he was talking about a fight against Tarver, I was like, no, you don't fight Tarver, because Tarver's got good footwork and good movement. You don't have to worry about Dereck Chisora, because Dereck Chisora is going to come in right in the firing line. And there'll be plenty of Dereck Chisora to hit. This fight for me comes down to what's happened. If I'm gonna lean one way or the other, it depends on what's happened behind closed doors. Dereck Chisora, I get an impression, if he knows Dillian Whyte as well as he's saying he knows Dillian Whyte, and he's sparred with Dillian Whyte and all the rest of it, and he's seen Dillian Whyte intimidate other opponents, you know, he may feel, hold on, I've got to take the initiative in this fight. I'm the older guy. I'm the wiser guy. I fought at a higher level this guy. Let me see if I can spook this guy early. Let me see if I can jump on this guy. Let me see if I can spook him and shake him up. So let me be. Everyone's saying that this guy, Dillian Whyte, is the new me. Well, anybody who says Dillian Whyte and Dereck Chisora are the same sort of fighter, they're not. Dillian Whyte can box behind a jab. He can move. He can turn southpaw. He can box orthodox. He can do a variety of things. Dereck Chisora just comes forward, winging overhand rights and the odd left hook. That's it, to be honest. And for all the head movement he has, he's still getting hit with shots all the time. So, and he's been in a lot of wars. The thing about Dillian Whyte, when I think about him over and over again, watching him, I think to myself, well, okay, you're doing this, you're doing things the way you want to be able to do them, with not too much pressure on you. How do you box when you're under pressure, where the guy's constantly putting pressure on you? How do you box when a guy is coming after you and you don't like him? And you know he particularly doesn't like Dereck Chisora, based on what he's talked about Dereck Chisora being a woman beater and all the rest of it. So you've got those things inside as well. Can his new trainer that he's with now, can he keep Dillian calm under fire? Who got the better of it between Dillian Whyte and Dereck Chisora? You know, in the studio, did Dereck rough up Dillian Whyte? Did he rough him up? Or did Dillian Whyte rough up Dereck Chisora? Who is the real bad man between the two guys? Between the two of them, one of them knows who the bad man is. One of them knows who the top dog is going into the fight. One of them knows going into the camp, either one guy's going to camp thinking to himself, man, I've spooked him, I've got him, and I just got to go in the ring and finish the job off. Or the other guy is there thinking, boy, you know what? I've got a tough fight in my hands here, and that guy kind of shaking me up, but I've got to put a front on in front of everybody. So it's one of those ones, I suspect, because they can't both be bad men and both be top dog. Somebody in those exchanges, one has had to get one or the other. Example, when Dereck Chisora came up against David Haye, and Dereck confronted David Haye, and David smashed him over there with the bottle and dropped him. David knew at that point, look, I've dropped you already. I've dropped you once, I'll drop you again. So he was able to know what he could do. And what did we see? We ended up seeing David Haye lay Chisora out. So it all depends on which guy can hold his game plan together and which guy can box under instructions. In terms of the two guys, if you look at the versatility, Dillian Whyte's a more versatile guy. He's the more versatile type of guy. He's the guy that can box and move. Dereck Chisora's going to come in straight lines. As I said, when you saw Dillian Whyte fight against Dave Allen, you saw him box southpaw, a little bit of orthodox. I know what you're going to tell me. Dillian Whyte, Dave Allen is not Dillian Whyte. I know you're going to tell me that. And I'm going to say to you, I agree. He's not. Dereck's going to come bundling forward. But you've got to question now Dereck Chisora's heart now. Does he really want to be in the game to become world heavyweight champion? Or does he just want to get a payday? Is he really that dedicated? What's going on with him and Don Charles? Is that relationship as good as ever? Or is it just, you know, have they made improvements in the camp? I don't know. Has Dereck Chisora's style finally been, you know, come to a point now where if he's going to get on the side, he's going to be throwing lots of body shots, bringing uppercuts up, and, you know, and trying to take Dillian Whyte out there and throwing big overhand rights? Is he going to be doing that? Or is he still going to be doing the same lazy stuff and getting outboxed? Okay, so those are my thoughts. In terms of making a prediction for this fight, I don't think you can. Really. Because both guys, as I said before, are so volatile that you don't know if it, like you saw Dillian Whyte in the first round against Anthony Joshua throwing punches after the bell. Yeah, you don't know where this fight will go. You don't know if one's going to get disqualified, one's going to throw a kick in the. You just don't know. So there are two guys that I think are unpredictable. If I had to sway in terms of consistency now, I will lean towards Dillian Whyte, because maybe even if it was Dereck Chisora that got the better Dillian Whyte outside the ring, inside the ring, technically, Dillian Whyte is the fresher guy. Dillian Whyte is the guy that was prepared to get in the ring with Anthony Joshua, injured or not. He was also the guy that has making the efforts to improve on his boxing style. And out of the two fighters, he's the guy who's more likely to sit down and study tape of the other guy. So I'm going to lean that way against the guy who's going to pay a little bit more time to his boxing ability. Now, having said that, like I said, I don't know if Dillian Whyte can stick to a game plan. And again, I don't know whether these two guys can actually hold a fight together without it going to disqualification. So that's what I think of the whole stuff. But I can tell you something now that I don't know what to think. I really don't know what to think. But what I'm going to do now, I'm going to switch over and see people talking in the room, because there's probably a lot of people in the room talking. Let's see what people are saying in the room. Bruce Wade, hi, England. Will you stay on YouTube? Categorically, no. No chance. Not with Baylor at TV Boxing Channel. No. This guy, Tupac Shakur. Don't you understand by now that if you come in my room talking crap, listen, I would normally time out people, but because I've got a few people in the room, I can just block you. So bye, Tupac. Right. Mick Carter says, seriously can't see there being any mutual respect after this fight, regardless of the result. Yeah, I agree with you there. LJA Photography. How you doing, babe? You good? Tibbs. Yes, Tibbs. Yes, it's Tibbs. But it's not Jimmy Tibbs, it's Mark Tibbs, isn't it? Yeah, right. So LJ Photography says White. Wicked breakdown says Sean Edwards. Thank you. Dillian is a different fighter now. He is, and under Mark Tibbs, I think he's taken the time to work on honing his craft. So you can't knock that. I haven't seen Dereck Chisora in all of his career actually decide to hone on his craft. Same old bundling forward, same crap that he's been doing all his career, right? So Chisora White is going to be the worst fight of the night. I don't think so, Eric. Who's the donkey? Who's the donkey? Yeah, worst two of them are donkeys. Hopeless fight. Poor show. Should never be pay-per-view. Paul Moore, I've got to agree with you. And I'm going to be dropping an interview after this show. It should be quite hilarious. My good friend Ross Hartley is back, and we did almost a 3 hour, 3.5, no, 4 hour interview, and we talk about dropping bombs. Well, I'm gonna upload the first part for you anyway. It's gonna be interesting for you to listen to. Nascimento was on the floor within a round and a half with Whyte, but Chisora lasted 12. There you go. Thank you, LJ Photography. I appreciate that. Hope you're well. Paul Moore, Whyte will win, probably on points in a boring match. Talk will be better than the actual fight. Won't live up to any expectations. It depends. It all depends on who decides to initiate in the fight. Whyte was an incredibly explosive fighter. Last few fights, he controlled himself because of tips. Yes, I agree. Now, there's something that I noticed in Dillian Whyte's demeanor at the press conference when he came face to face with Dereck Chisora. His whole face had just changed. His whole disposition changed. There was no smiling. There was no talk. There was no like normal joking around. It was like something just taken all the joy out of his life, all the fun and spunk out of his life, and like he was just like it was a real personal matter. So with that personal feeling in it, there's always the feeling for me that if you push Dillian Whyte's buttons, he'll revert back to form. And what I mean by revert back to form is he'll go back to doing what he used to do before. Now, if Dillian Whyte goes back to what he used to do before, that's the only doorway I think Dereck Chisora's got of beating Dillian Whyte. If he goes back to doing stuff that he used to do before, Dereck Chisora stands a good chance of beating him. And that's what I think Dereck wants to do. Dereck's trying to wind Dillian up, so wind him up and wind him up and wind him up. And think, right, if we can wind him up enough, he'll lose the game plan, he won't box smart, and then I can name him with something. And that's why I think with Dereck Chisora. Adam Scott says, neither of them can punch. Both take a shot well, going to get tired after a few rounds and sleep. Bad Bart says, yes, I can't wait for the Ross Hartley interview. Love that guy. Yeah, I suggest everybody listen to Ross Hartley's interview. He's straight talking. He knows what he's talking about, and he understands British boxing more than a lot of people out there. So, and he'll just tell you straight as I've nicknamed him the man with the golden tongue. LJ Photographer says, I was there. It was very good. What happened to Gloves Are Off? I think that's on tomorrow night, Tuesday night. Oh, just on a side note, I thought they said the Klitschko fight with Joshua was going to be in March. Now here it's going to be in April. Okay. Chisora got glassed. Ingram, do you think Delbray has stamina issues? Always looks tired. Stamina issues? Not really. I don't know if he's got stamina issues. I just think that I think people train the way they fight. Okay, you look at the way I used to watch. When I used to box and I was down in Brighton, I used to watch Eubank every day run. I used to jog past Eubank every day. And when he was doing his runs, Eubank would stop, do autographs, have a chat with somebody, and jog. And he'd be here with Ronnie Davis. He can never do 3 minutes of every round. So he would pose and grab a breather here and hold. And most of Chris Eubank fights, 95% of Eubank fights, he couldn't do 3 rounds. I mean, 3 rounds. Couldn't do 3 minutes in each round. So that's why when he fought guys like Michael Watson, and who put it right on him, and Steve Collins, he couldn't keep up the pace. Because in training camp, Eubank would take time and control everything, you know? So there you go. Ingram, what is next for you? When are you stopping this boxing channel? Okay, if you want to know more about that, check out an interview I did with 78 Sports TV. I said quite a few things in that interview. The last day will be on this channel, December the 14th. I think it's set at 11 p.m. to fit with the American time, and we're hoping to have a little bit of a party on that night to kind of celebrate what Bayloric's done over the years and to close it off. So What is next for me? And I'll reveal more about that later. But a nice rest. And from what I'm seeing on the other side, things are looking very, very, very good. Honestly, very good. Mick Carter. Chisora isn't serious enough, though. Pride is on the line. He's more in it for money. Dillian's looking a lot better shape and really wants to make it in boxing. I think he'll be too smart for Del Boy. Quite possibly. Quite possibly. And Adrian Remedy says, Dillian Whyte's jab isn't what it should be, in my opinion. Is that left shoulder going to give him trouble when he steps up to top level? Has that left shoulder even healed? And Dillian Whyte has got a habit of winding up punches and leave himself open, well open to be exposed. LJ Photography. I think Dillian won't go in for the kill like his early fights. He's enjoying boxing out. I kind of wish he would go a bit nuts, though. No, you don't, because if he goes nuts, then he's going to lose the game plan. Yay, Brighton and Eubank days. Haha, so funny. Good times. Oh, I miss those times, Laura. I really do. Please leave the videos up. Can I use them as a reference? I guess the videos will stay up. I don't have complete control over those videos, but I think they'll stay up. Surely you've landed a spot on BT? No, clearly not. Absolutely no, no, no. If I did that now, I'd be selling out. I'm trying to make a point. Do for self. Don't wait for somebody to employ you. Build your own company. Build for self. I don't want to be sitting somewhere in some office, somebody telling me to go left, go right, look up, look down, look. And I certainly don't want to be sitting on a panel of guys that are sitting there saying something that is actually not accurate. You know what I mean? So there you go. Gonna miss Bayloric dearly, but glad you're moving on to better things, Ingram. You deserve it. Thank you. Why this great channel closing? What's happening? Oh, Dean, hope you're doing well, my friend. It's time to move on. You know, you've got to go on and progress and become better at things. Let me take over your channel, Ingram. The legacy must go on. LOL. The legacy does go on. Just not the way it's going at the moment. If they take them down, they'll be taking down a piece of boxing history. I know somebody who did take down a whole lot of this stuff. Apollo James Jackson. I've got to pay tribute to him for a couple of moments because he did a lot of things in boxing. He was an inspiration to me. This 19-year-old young boy going across to America, sparring with the likes of Kelly Pavlik and sparring with Brandon Rios and sparring with Eddie Satback and getting interviews. He did it before anybody else was doing it. Anybody else who went in the ring and sparred with fighters afterwards, they were copycats, absolute copycats. Apollo James Jackson was the original, and it's a shame he hadn't had his video up there. I know there are things about Apollo he did that people didn't like, and I didn't agree with, but in terms of being an entrepreneur and a leader and a first, that guy, Apollo James Jackson, was the first. So any clowns you see doing it afterwards, he was the number one. He was the guy. 19 years old. He went and sparred with Brandon Rios, and Brandon Rios was lashing him hard. Same with Kelly Pavlik. I mean, I saw Kelly Pavlik put a body shot on that boy. I don't know how he stood up to it. So, yeah. Gonna miss your insight. I hope you stay in touch with us. I will. I agree. So, it says Carl McDowell. Okay, breaking news. Huey Fury, Deontay Wilder, potentially February the 25th. What about that? Huey Fury, Deontay Wilder, February the 25th. Has it come too soon for Huey Fury? What's Deontay Wilder going to be like after the injury? Is he coming back any better? Yep, that's what I'm hearing. February the 25th, I think it was tweeted out, February 25th. Huey Fury, Deontay Wilder. I mean, first and foremost, I think it's a great fight. I think Huey's a better boxer. I think Wilder's a better puncher and has got more experience at world level. I think this fight's going to be in America. But I think one of the things that Deontay Wilder does that I don't like about Deontay is that he doesn't know how to block a left jab. And for a guy that's fought you know, Olympic fighter or a world championship fighter as an amateur who doesn't know how to block a jab. He keeps pulling his head straight back from punches, and you can do that against guys that don't have a good jab or not a similar height to yourself. Because when you start doing it against a guy that actually, you know, can jab and he's got an excellent jab, Hugh's got an excellent jab, but nobody knows what Hugh has got at the moment because of the illness, and then he's got better. I'd like to see him get a warm-up fight and then get there, but I don't know. If Peter thinks that Hughie can do it, then hey. Will Tyson return to boxing? I know he's tweeted about him coming back, but I personally don't see it at the moment. But we'll have to wait and see. Interesting news again. Carl Froch, Eddie Hearn talking about Carl Froch wanting to make this comeback. Not going to happen. Not going to happen. They would have to pay over 10 million to get Carl Froch back in the ring. Carl Froch has got a brand new nose, right? He's been out of the ring for how many years, right? And the money he makes in good investments and the various properties that Carl Froch has got. Why the hell do you get back in the ring, risk your legacy, risk a potential place in the Hall of Fame to fight Gennady Golovkin? Really? And the promoter really don't care about you, just wants to make more money. But anyway, Mr. Boxing Today, shout out to Mr. Boxing Today. Good to see you in the show. I don't like Wilder carrying that chin high. I've said it so many times. And when he puts his hands up in the air like he thinks he's Floyd. Adrian Remby says, great fight. Hughie can take away that big right hand and he can outbox Wilder, but maybe a step too far too soon. Well, it's that, isn't it? Dare to be great. Really don't like that term, especially when it's dare to be great and it's a mismatch. With this fight, I don't think it's a mismatch. I think Hugh's got the boxing ability. I just would like to see him for 1 or 2 fights to get that confidence back beforehand. Mick Carter says, love Hughie to do it, but really think he is too light to be very good experience with Fury. And considering his age, he's shown massive balls, unlike a few hype jobs in the sport. I agree. Hughie is in the best shape of his life. Never doubt a Fury. I don't doubt his fighting shape, but I do doubt his mental shape in terms of the last time he was in the ring, he fought Fred Cassie. Now, if I had boxed, and my last fight was against Fred Cassie, and I was struggling with an illness. Look, I can't speak from having an illness, chronic fatigue syndrome for 7 years, and boxing with it. To have that in the back of my mind, I want to have a fight watching me box well and watching me box healthily. I don't want to be going boxing and going back in the ring and boxing against the heavyweight champion of the world and the legitimate heavyweight champion of the world, WBC champion, Deontay Wilder. The only legitimate guy in terms of what I'm saying is that he beat Bermane Stiverne, who was the man who was the WBC champion. Okay, so I can't remember what I was saying. I really can't remember. Someone will remind me in a minute. But what I'm saying is that I would like to see Hughie back in the ring, healthy, boxing 1 or 2 fights against not bums, but guys in the top 30, like Duhaupas, good fight there. You know, a Chris Arreola. See you box those guys and box well against those guys. Say, right, now you got the world title shot. No excuses. You're fit. You're ready. You're healthy. Let's go. Okay. So, LJ, a photographer, or just Laura, if you don't mind me calling you Laura, he has been really ill and out of sorts, but I think Peter must know if he's up for it. He's in good form now. Yeah, well, whether he's in good form or not, he might be in good form in the gym, but it's in the ring that matters. And I'm yet to see Hughie Fury put on a performance where I've gone, wow, this guy's ready. I've seen glimpses of class, glimpses of a great jab or nice little body work or against guys, but I haven't seen a performance that gone, yeah, I can see what they're talking about. I've seen average performances against a guy, average performances with a guy who's not healthy. That is not the ingredients for me personally to be sticking in a world title fight. But again, it might be counterproductive for Deontay Wilder. Deontay Wilder may be looking and going, oh, that little boy there, that little boy there. And he thinks, based on what he's seen of Hughie being sick, and then Hughie goes over to America in top shape, confidence, ready to go, and can take him out. The mental side of Hughie Fury, physically seems to have it all there, but mentally, when he was in the corner on his dad, he had really nothing in the tank. When he went to the corner first round, and people were shouting at him, saying, "What's wrong? Get it together!" And he kind of sat down and thought, He got through the Cassie fight, but when the going gets really tough with Hughie Fury, if he can pass that test? I've heard stories that he's got a great chin. I've seen what he can sort of do in terms of boxing ability. If he can do, and if his mental state in terms of he can hold it together in a tough fight, there's no reason why I don't think he can't go off and beat someone like Deontay Wilder because of the boxing ability he's got. But this is the big but. Again, the mental state. Adam Scott, Hughie linked with big fights all the time. Can't see him getting Wilder yet, though. Yes, I can see the Wilder fight. I can definitely see the Wilder fight because the Wilder camp have approached Hughie Fury on a number of occasions, and they won't let that fight go. That fight will happen. Hughie Fury Wilder will happen. I've got no doubts about that fight. A bit off topic. What do you think of Josh Warrington leaving Matchroom? Eddie Hearn must be gutted, not because he's an elite fighter, just because he's an elite fighter, because he lost a ticket seller. Who will leave next? Listen, if Eric Molina puts one on Joshua and Joshua gets knocked out by Eric Molina, who's Matchroom got as their pay-per-view star? Think about it. Who's Matchroom got as their pay-per-view star if Molina were to cause the upset? And how would you bring Joshua back? Being on Showtime. What's happening with Dave Price? I don't know. Got no idea. I heard the reason. No, I'll leave that. I'll leave that out. Wait until you listen to the interview, and I'll answer. And then you can get the question answered about Josh Warrington after you listen to the interview. Adrian Remedy says, I would have loved to see AJ. Oh, sorry. Room's getting packed. Hold on a second. Sorry. I would love to have seen him versus AJ. See how Brazil avoided AJ's right hand. Who would have a good chance at boxing Joshua? Okay. Listen, by the way, don't believe the bullshit that you read. I'm sorry, pardon my language. Don't read the bullshit. Believe the bullshit you read. McCracken has always been training Anthony Joshua, but now it's official because he's allowed to train Joshua. He's been training Joshua from day dot, all right? So it ain't no big announcement. McCracken's been training Joshua. I mean, even Dave Allen admitted himself. Joshua's always been trained by McCracken. So, again, media who've gone to see Joshua train over and over again and see McCracken in the corner. What's McCracken doing in the corner? What he's a cleaner, is he? He's just stupid stuff. He's changed his trainer. What was the big news about Brook? Well, look, I'll come back to your question, Dean, in a second. In terms of Kell Brook, the way I look at it is this. Kell Brook should have left Eddie Hearn and gone to Al Heyman. If Eddie had gone to Al Heyman, he would have got the big fights. He would have been part of the welterweight pool. Look, Thurman, Porter, Garcia, he could have been part of that pool. I bet you any money, probably you would have seen Brook versus Malignaggi. So it's almost there's a sort of thing in my mind that's going, and it's like almost a thought process. It's like this. The process goes like this. Well, there's other guys, there's other promoters out there that could have these fighters. Well, now I know some of them are a bit disloyal. I know they can leave anyway. Let them leave my camp damaged goods. Josh Warrington got out okay, he's unbeaten. But so that when they get beat and they go to the new promoter, then they've got to rebuild their career. It's going to take them a couple of years to rebuild their career. So Kell Brook versus Gennady Golovkin, injured fighter. He'll never be the same fighter again, as far as I'm concerned, Kell Brook. because I think Kell Brook's one of those kind of confidence fighters. Now he's got to fight Errol Spence next. So, I mean, Dave Allen, if he gets beat by Ortiz, which a lot of people expect is how he gets beat, what happens afterwards? Frankie Gavin, I understand, don't know how true it is no longer a matchroom fighter, but we'll have to wait and see for that to get confirmed. Frankie Gavin, where does he go? If Frankie Gavin is no longer a matchroom fighter, then what happens? Then does he go back to Frank Warren? Who goes for Frankie Gavin? Just some thoughts there. That's not confirmed about Frankie Gavin, but that's what I've been hearing. In terms of what happened to David Price, well, David Price, the story goes like this. Dave Colwell was calling out Eric Molina. Eric Molina, you said, we need to fight someone like Eric Molina. We need to fight. We can't fight. We don't want to fight Dave Allen. We want to fight a world-class opponent. So what do? What do we see? David Price fighting a guy, a punching bag with arms, basically. That guy was shocking that he fought against on the Sky Bill. And we haven't seen David Price because Molina then went and fought AJ. So Molina was prepared to take the Price fight. So we'll have to see what happens afterwards. Michael C says, Ingram, Huey had the chance to fight AJ pay-per-view, but picks to fight Wilder. Does this make sense? Yeah, because if he beats Wilder, he's WBC champion. Let's see. There's a lot of people in the room. I'm sorry. I am so sorry, people. Mr. Boxing Today, Huey good all-round boxing skills. I question his physicality in the trenches with stronger kids. Kid is young and growing. Rudenko is a rough and tumble guy, but smaller heavyweight. I agree there. Remember, Rudenko, as far as a lot of people are concerned, beat Lucas Brown. So, Dave Boy Essex, round one. Good to see you in the room. Hi. Sorry, the room's packed. Charlie Burr, who are you picking? Parker versus Ruiz? I've said it before, I don't like Parker's defensive irresponsibility. Parker's one of these guys likes to throw a lot of punches, but leaves himself open himself. Ruiz, trained under Abel Sanchez, recent success with Gassiev, and of course, trainer of Gennady Golovkin. You know that with Abel Sanchez fighters, they're vicious by nature. And I think when I interviewed Sanchez, he talks about, I don't train heavyweights, I train fighters. So Ruiz has lost a lot of weight. You'll see a lot of weight come off of Ruiz for this fight against Parker. I also think it's two things. Because he's lost that weight, he's going to be more mobile. But because he's lost that weight, will he be as durable? Will he be able to take a punch the same way? Remember, we've seen Andy Ruiz always in the 240s, 250s, okay? And we've seen him fight that way. When you lose that weight, do you lose some form of durability, your ability to take those shots, the shock absorber? So when Parker nails him, Parker hits pretty hard. Would you believe this? Stavern was saying that Molina hits harder than Parker. Can you believe that? And he was actually sparring with Parker and Ruiz and the Polish guy, Izu, who's now signed with Al Heyman. He's going to be interesting to see. So that's a bit of information for you there. Oh, there's loads of people in the room. Sorry, I'm sorry. And I'd slowed the chat down as well. We love David Boy and his fight vids. Hey, David Boy, keep those fight vids up. Ingram, any inside information on AJ being sparred by Lawrence Cody? There doesn't need to be inside information. AJ getting sparred. He's been sparred by quite a few guys in sparring, but people seem to write that off and ignore it. But when I keep saying it and people keep ignoring me, when you keep hearing a guy keeps getting sparked in training, and then you hear someone like supposedly Rob McCracken saying that's the reason why we should be taking a pricey fight. I mean, they're treating Anthony Joshua like he's an endangered animal or endangered species, like a big panda. Well, you know, we've got to be careful of Josh fighting. You know, we're going to take the Klitschko fight. Okay, fine. All right. But in the time being, we'll fight Molina. Well, the other day, Molina was a bum and really shouldn't be fighting, and he got KO'd in a round by Ariola. Now we're hearing come near fight time, the possibility of, I'm slightly shitting myself here. Is the promoter talking shit or is he serious? Well, if you've got inside information and you know your guy's been getting sparked in training camp, I mean, this guy's a cruiserweight that sparked Anthony Joshua. Molina can punch, and all the guys he's fought in his career to this point, he's hit them and he's hurt them. And it was said, oh yeah, Josh is going to blow him out. If Josh don't blow him out there and he gets nailed with a right hand, will all those sparring rumors come back to be some truth? 10-ounce gloves. You're getting sparked with 18-ounce gloves. Okay, so that's something that we can't laugh at, and it's something that we need to be. I'd be concerned about. You constantly hearing rumors of this guy getting knocked out in sparring. Come on, constantly hearing rumors. Not he got knocked out once and it was up. Constantly getting knocked out in sparring. It's not David Price. It's a cruiserweight knocking you out. Fraser Clark supposedly knocked him out in sparring. There's only so much PR you can do about it. So you can say it's only sparring, but if you keep getting knocked out in sparring, there's a concern. That's what I'm saying. Dave Boy says, always glad to provide. Mr. Boxing Today, evening sir, enjoying your content. Wouldn't surprise me if Kel moved to Box Nation BT if he was promised a Khan fight. There are strong rumors that Brook v. Khan is going to happen. Strong rumors. I'll leave it as that. But then if I said it, then somebody say to me, what's your evidence? What's your proof? Well, what I will say to you is kind of put 2 and 2 together. No, I'm not going to say that. Dave Allen in an uphill battle. Ortiz is a stylistic nightmare. Yes, but I also broke down how I felt. Go back and look at my video and how I thought Dave Allen could cause the upset against Luis Ortiz. There's 3 things about Luis Ortiz we don't know. How he does against big punches, what he does when he's on the back foot under pressure, and what he does fighting away from home and things not going his way. 3 things we don't know about Luis Ortiz. We know Dave Allen's got plenty of heart. We know he's got a good chin. And we know he'll stick it out. Work rate is poor, but then I think that's down to his fitness. Let's hope that he's really in shape, because if he's not, that's poor on him. But if he can get inside, and look at this. When Klitschko fought Bryant Jennings had a handful of amateur fights and a handful of pro fights. And he went the whole 12 of Klitschko. And you would have thought a guy like that would have got obliterate someone like Jennings. And you've got someone like Allen now, who hasn't had many pro fights, hasn't had many amateur fights. Could the similar thing happen? Don't know. How good is Luis Ortiz? The other question is, the Malik Scott fight, did Ortiz carry Luis? Did Luis Ortiz carry Malik Scott? And the third thing is, hold on. What I don't get is this. It's kind of confusing for me. You leave Golden Boy, and under Golden Boy you fought Tony Thompson. You leave Golden Boy. You come to get promoted by Matchroom, and the best promoter. Some people think the best promoter in the world. Some people. I'm not going there. And so the first fight you fight tin-hearted Malik Scott. And then the second fight you get is Dave Allen. I mean, surely you should be moving Ortiz up the ratings. No disrespect to Dave. Love Dave to bits. And in one way, I hope he does beat Ortiz, just for the sheer. Ortiz should be saying, you know what? I don't want to fight this guy. Guy's fighting 185 in the world. What does this do for my credibility? So I beat Dave Allen. What does that mean? Dillian Whyte's already done it. What does that mean? I beat a guy who's had 10 fights. What does that prove? Oh, it's on Showtime. Yeah, all right, fine. But I could have put somebody else on Showtime, a decent opponent on Showtime. Where's Duhappas? Why couldn't you put Duhappas? Or somebody else ranked in the top 20? Why could Luis Ortiz be fighting Shannon Briggs for the WBA title? I don't know. Why could Luis Ortiz be fighting a fight to get him the right to fight for the WBA title? Huh? Why are we watching Dave Allen fight? Anyway, sorry to go off like that. Laura says, was wondering as there was meant to be some big announcement today. David Price's last opponent looked like he had cholesterol number higher than his weight in kilograms. There's loads of people in the show. I'm so sorry. I am so sorry. Charlie Cutting, David Price versus Vac. Look, Marius Vac, Luis Ortiz, good fight.